Hello, we're Robertson Construction, and we're here today to talk to you about the climate change and how to become a climate change champion in your own community. We really hope you enjoy this session.
Looking after our planet has never been more important. Later this year, world leaders will come together to talk about climate change and what their countries can do to help protect the environment. We're asking you to be climate change champions, to help play your part in safeguarding our environment and planet, because you are the change makers of the future. From the homes and communities you live in, to the way you travel, to the food you eat, you can make a difference today, tomorrow, and every day that follows. Because like so many other children around the world, we know you care and want to do your bit to support people, wildlife, plants, and everything we share our incredible planet with. As a Robertson Climate Change Champion, you'll learn about carbon emissions, including where they come from and how rising levels of greenhouse gases isn't good for the planet. And by learning more about the world you live in, you can make better choices too. Help reduce waste, energy and materials, and your carbon footprint. Learn more about climate pressures, and think smart, the things that will help us protect the environment and the planet. As a Robertson Climate Change Champion, you'll work with your classmates and teacher on different activities to learn more about the environment. For instance, what we can do to make things more sustainable. In other words, to use less and make what we do use last longer. Reusing and recycling materials, creating better spaces to learn in, using less energy, finding out how buildings can be more environmentally friendly. We hope you'll enjoy it because together you can make a real difference. We also want you to have your say and tell us what you think world leaders and those in charge should be doing right now to make the planet a better place for generations to come. Your views really do count and will contribute to a report for COP26 and the people who make the decisions where you live. Ready to be a Robertson Climate Change Champion?
Hello, my name is Mila and I'm a Robertson Climate Change Champion. In this session you will learn about climate change and the effects it's having on our environment. You will also learn about the greenhouse effect and carbon footprint. Do you know how to reduce your carbon footprint and become a Robertson Climate Change Champion like me? Let's find out.
So, what is the climate? This is the weather found in a certain place over a long period of time. An area's climate determines what kind of plants can grow and what kind of animals can survive there. Many factors affect the climate. These factors include the sun, oceans, winds, land types, clouds, and human activities. Your teacher may want to pause the video now and talk to you about different climates around the world and what is dependent on that climate. So, what is climate change? Climate change is a long-term shift in average weather patterns across the world. Scientists have monitored the climate over many years and now know that the planet is getting much warmer. Through further investigation, they have discovered that all gases that are released have an effect on our planet that is similar to a greenhouse. A greenhouse lets the sun shine through and heats the air inside, which, if controlled, allows plants to grow. And this is why it's called the greenhouse effect. So let's talk a little bit more about the greenhouse effect. So if you were to put certain different items into a greenhouse, how do you think they would be affected? So, for example, if we put an ice cube into a greenhouse, it would melt and disappear, so that would be the effect. And there is similarity in relation to the icebergs in Antarctica. And the effect would be that it reduces the habitat for wildlife, example polar bears and penguins, etc. If we were to put water into a greenhouse, the effect would be it would evaporate. And the similarity to this is the water reserves in Africa. And the effect would be that it would reduce the habitat for wildlife. And if a human was to stand into a greenhouse, they would really get really hot and uncomfortable. And the similarity is populations in hot countries. So the effect would be that additional resources would be needed to help them be comfortable. So example, aircon or water, fans, etc. Please now watch this short video of what is the greenhouse effect. So what greenhouse gases are we emitting? Fluorinated gases. These gases are used in fridges, air conditioning units and fire extinguishers. Then there is carbon dioxide. These gases are produced from burning fuels such as coal, oil and gas. 1/4 of human-made greenhouse gas emissions come from burning fossil fuels for electricity and heat production. Methane. These gases come from farming and waste disposal activities. Another 1/4 of human-made greenhouse gas emissions come from agriculture, forestry and other land use. And the last one is nitrous oxide. These gases come from fertiliser production that is used in farming. A question. What effects do you think climate change is having on our environment? If the teacher just wants to pause the video here, and then I'll come back to you soon. Thank you. So, you should have got that parts of the planet will become hotter, and the impact will be the water will dry up and make it harder for wildlife, people and plants to live there. Or parts of the planet will get wetter, so the impact will be flooding may occur, which will cause damage to property and make it harder for wildlife, people and planets to live there. We can already see the impacts of climate change, and these could be more severe and widespread as global temperatures rise. How great these impacts will be depends upon our success in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Examples of climate pressures and impacts are increasing temperatures, hotter weather. So this will result in heat waves, drought and fires that make places inhabitable and cause damage to wildlife and plants. We could have extreme weather events like winds and tsunamis, which will be harmful to buildings, wildlife and plants. And we could have rising sea levels due to areas of ice melting, which will cause flooding and coastal erosion, meaning people will have to move their homes. Or we could have extreme rainfall, which will cause inland flooding of villages, farmland and damage bridges and roads. Scientists have already proven that the current global temperature rise of around 1 Celsius over the last 150 years is impacting the climate. But even this extreme weather is nothing compared to what warming of 1.5 or 2 Celsius could look like and what damage it could have on a global scale. If the warming continues to 1.5 or 2 Celsius, then the following graphic, which you can see here from the World Wildlife Fund, shows some of those predicted outcomes. Again, consider how these impacts will also potentially affect the UK, your school and yourself. The headlines are significant. Climate change is happening now. 1.5 Celsius of an increase is safer than 2 Celsius for people and for nature. So what is renewable energy? Renewable energy is an energy source that doesn't run out when it is used. This means we can keep on using it and not to worry about it running out. Can you name these types of energy? If the teacher wants to pause the video here, and then you can have a discussion of what the names are, and also, can you tell me how these types of energies work? I'll come back to you soon. Thank you. So these types of energy, we've got wind energy, solar energy, and water energy. So wind energy. The wind causes the turbines to rotate, creating energy, and this energy is then to create electricity. And the solar energy. These are solar panels which catch energy from the sunlight and use it to create electricity. And water energy. Moving water drives the turbines around, creating energy which again is used to create electricity. Carbon footprint. The total amount of greenhouse gases that are being emitted are referred to as carbon footprint. The carbon footprint includes carbon dioxide as well as other greenhouse gases that are being emitted. The simplified carbon footprint definition is the amount of greenhouse gases released in the atmosphere because of one's own energy needs, and this is called your carbon footprint. So a question. How do you think you can reduce your own carbon footprint? If the teacher could please pause the video here, and then I'll be with you again on the next slide. Thank you. So here are some ways you could reduce your own carbon footprint. You could turn off lights, TVs, computers when you're not using them. You could unplug any electric item that you can turn off with a remote. So for example, the TV, your PlayStation, your Xbox. You could walk or ride your bike instead of taking the car everywhere. Don't waste water, so turn the tap off when you're brushing your teeth. Compost where and when you can. You could help plant trees. And does your school have an eco group? If not, could you start one? Do you have a class eco champion? If not, could you be one? Is there any more that you can think of that's not on this list? Thank you. The following 3 slides are an optional exercise for you and your teacher to get involved with. I want to say at this point, thank you for listening to the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.